Big idea number 15. Manufacture courage. If you want to remove the barriers that prevent successful, sustainable action, then you need to learn how to manufacture courage. Courage is not something you are, and it's not something you have. It is a skill you learn so you can access it when it is needed most, whether that is in times where you're experiencing fear, shame, frustration, or extreme vulnerability. But hiding from any reality does not make that reality go away. It only makes us grow more fearful and insecure and frustrated. So what's the solution? Lesson number 1, observe, embrace, and demand more. So I want to share the story of Barry McDonough. Years ago, I happened to stumble on a program he created called Panic Away. I was surprised to learn that McDonough had created the program to rid himself of his anxiety disorder. What I discovered was that he had sought out the advice of doctors who had considerable expertise in the area of anxiety. But in every case, the solution he was being offered focused on coping with anxiety rather than helping him cure himself of the fear that comes with an anxiety attack. He wasn't interested in coping because that left him in a state of constant fear. He also wasn't interested in medications that would dull his senses to the world around him. What he eventually developed was something so simple he could fit all the steps on a 3x5 index card. He called it the one-move technique, and it consisted of 3 steps. Step number 1, observe. McDonough actually got his idea from observing nature. Nature does not resist. Coping mechanisms, on the other hand, teach people to resist or fight. But resistance only amplifies the stress and conflict that resides within. So McDonough began to teach himself to model nature and observe when a panic attack was oncoming. Step number 2, embrace. This is completely counterintuitive to everything that we are ever taught about fearful events. The goal was not to suppress the attack in any way, but rather feel the anxiety in its entirety. By not offering up resistance, he was reducing the psychological friction that a typical attack would cause. And step number 3, demand more. The last one kind of blew my mind. He would literally ask for more. Here is McDonough's rationale. The request for more is the most empowering statement you can make when in the midst of a full-blown panic attack. It sends a clear and strong statement that you are calling fear's bluff. You are allowing yourself to fully feel the experience as if it were a roller coaster ride. You are a fully paid up and willing participant, not a victim. Demanding more places you in a new position of power. Now, the other reason that this is so powerful is that fear feeds on fear. It cannot survive in a vacuum. By teaching yourself to embrace fear, you rob it of the energy source it needs to survive and thrive. So, what's your takeaway from lesson number 1? Recognize that what McDonough did was create a play for himself that he could implement whenever he experienced a panic attack. The play eventually helped him eliminate the problem completely. Is there a way that you could tweak the play to use in your life in an area where you are currently experiencing strong resistance, whether it manifests as fear, frustration, self-doubt, or anxiety?